News 13 has obtained the Sheriff's Department investigation of last month's fatal crash involving Albuquerque Police Sergeant Adam Casals.
Casals was charged with vehicular homicide this week, but he was not arrested, even though the lengthy report includes new information that seriously undermines what he claims he was doing. News 13's Tina Jensen has the story.
In the early hours of February 10th, Sergeant Adam Casals sped through a red light in a police SUV and crashed into a Honda CRV, killing 21-year-old Ashley Browder and injuring her sister Lindsay. A 145-page report details what sheriff's investigators knew that night and since then. It confirms they found no proof to support Casals' claim that he was after a possible drunk driver. Witnesses told deputies they didn't see any vehicle in front of the police car. Investigators also confirmed that Casals never called dispatch to report that he was looking for a dangerous driver. The report also undercuts Casals' repeated claim to investigators that he had his siren as well as his emergency lights on. Witnesses told investigators they never heard a siren.
Whether his statements and what he said he was doing is true or not, that's for the judge and the courts and the jury to decide.
Information from the black box in the police unit puts Casals' speed at 65 miles an hour at the time of impact, 15 miles an hour over the limit on Paseo at Eagle Ranch. Despite all that, the DA says Casals didn't meet the threshold for arrest, that he's a danger to the public.
We also have someone who is of reasonable age who has never violated the law previously. And we know that this didn't involve any kind of alcohol or drugs in the behavior, so the threat to public safety isn't something that we're concerned about.
The DA and BCSO say they work together on cases like this to decide if a suspect should be arrested once he's been charged. And they insist they didn't handle Casals any differently than any other citizen.
There's been no decision that's been based on any type of favoritism to an officer with the Albuquerque Police Department. If we would have had the information that we obviously have now after the investigation, could an arrest have been appropriate? Of course it could have been, but we weren't at that point.
Tina Jensen, KRQE News 13.
All right, up next in this case, in April, Casals will face a preliminary hearing where the evidence will be publicly aired, unlike a closed grand jury proceeding. If the judge, after he hears that, decides there's enough evidence to put him on trial, Casals will then be booked at the jail, but not locked up.